Welcome to the penultimate episode for this season of the Bacon Pancast featuring Jake's Meatloaf. This is an Adventure Time podcast, and we are Jake's Meatloaf. Starting with me, I'm Tulip.
I'm Nick.
I'm Tipsy.
I'm Chan.
That reminds me of Finn and Jake's message. We did the exact same thing. Sorry.
We're going to be talking about, this week, the worm and his orchard.
Yay.
With the broad strokes of which is basically just that we spend the whole episode in the undergrowth dimension, where we finally meet the Cosmic Owl's brother, the Karmic Worm, and everyone goes on their own individual, emotional journeys, except Witch Wizard, rip.
Okay, so can we just, do we have to start from the beginning with this one?
No.
We don't.
Okay, great! Food is back, baby!
Yeah.
He's here, and I was so happy.
Fern died, right? So, but when Fern died, the consciousness ended up here? Is that because... So it could be because Fern is part emissary from beyond, and emissary from beyond is green magic, or it's probably just because Finn planted Fern into the dirt, and as soon as Fern became a tree, they became part of the tree dimension, we should call it.
You know what? That makes it make a lot more sense to me. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, sure. I was thinking, this is great for Fern. I'm glad that they didn't just die at the end of the original series. They've got some kind of ending, but also... Isn't this a little bit... I don't think Fern likes living here. It's kind of a prison dimension.
Well, if you think about Adventure Time in general, it's very Tom Herpic, isn't it? This sort of lifestyle, Finn has to live a hardy life in this sort of magical realm where they don't even wear shoes, and all of these droplets rain down from the sky that represent repressed emotions, and Finn, and Fern just sort of kind of looks after Finn's repressed memories as well. And it is an unpleasant place, but it's the place that Fern needed to be to grow as a person.
Yeah, I suppose so.
You're right, he's so tall now.
And yeah, I was also wondering, I generally, I'm happy for Fern, but why is Fern the exception? No one else had their consciousness ended up, in an alternate dimension when they die. But yeah,
because Fern's a tree person.
Plants can be special. That makes sense, actually.
Well, it's we know that plants are special. We've seen time and time again, the tree house is special. Fiona's tree house seems to be connected to this dimension through time and space or something.
Yeah, but that's not just that. That's all trees on Fiona World, apparently.
Yeah, and Fern is a tree.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah, they did, they did the classic Adventure Time thing that I always love, which is, here's a new place, and here's the lore of this place, and it works this way, and then I'm just this is so fucking cool. I love the whole idea of, the pain orbs, and also, specifically, the line where he was they cycle back, sometimes they keep coming back, and when you're ready for them... eventually they'll be ready for them, but it takes a bunch of times, and I'm I love the idea of unprocessed trauma, going up and down until you finally can accept it, and it stays with the person. It's just so cool. Very cool.
And all of Finn's stuff ain't going back up, which, to be fair, we've known about for a long time. That's the vault right there that we're seeing a visual representation of in this episode.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's a Tipsy W. Tipsy, earlier in the season, you were saying that Finn was probably going through similar emotional trauma to Fiona, and I was pushing back on that a little bit, but no, you were totally right. I think Finn's life isn't falling apart the same way Fiona's is because Finn's garnered a lot of support. Look at how many people were coming to try and kiss him back to life, for example, and also I don't think he has to pay rent in OO, so that helps.
Yeah,
but he has a lot of problems.
Yeah, for a moment, just because Finn has all these people who care about him, that doesn't mean that they understand what he's going through, or that they can even get through to him if they do. Yeah. Finn has completely locked himself off from the outside world. he is. I keep saying Finn's headspace in episode 5. Was it 5 or 6? That is his headspace. Like, look how empty his room is compared to Fiona's room. The only thing in Finn's room is the TV show of him dying again and again and again and again and again. Fiona's room has all sorts of trinkets, and she turns away those trinkets. And I saw a post earlier by Twilight Sandwiches. I can't remember their name. They're great. They were talking about how Fiona rejecting those trinkets of her friends is like on her way to having a completely empty room, just like Finn. And I don't know. I don't think he's in a good place at all. And this episode just reinforces it because he has the most trauma beads out of everyone, and the biggest one of all, one should say.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That was so evil of them to do that. Like that was just
it was fucked. but
Though it actually was. I liked this episode a lot, but the Jake Payne orb I don't like. I think that's like a heavy dark spot in this one for me.
I'm into it. I mean,
I'm into it too.
I don't think they should have addressed Jake's death at all, because they haven't really so far, and I think doing it in this way.
Did you see my post on Tumblr earlier, Tulip?
I might have.
Because I have blood to spill about the topic of Jake's death.
Yeah, go ahead.
When the fuck does Jake die? Like at what point in the series do we know? Like, do you remember how we found out that Jake had died? Do you remember when we found out Jake had died?
Like in Obsidian?
Yeah, but Jake's not dead in Obsidian, see?
Well, we don't know that.
Well, we found out Jake died in Obsidian because Finn has a tattoo with forget-me-nots on. But Finn in this flash of Jake dying has the tattoo on with the forget-me-nots on. And
yeah, and he's in his like big boy form with all the muscles and hair and stuff.
And he's in his big boy form. He's older than Obsidian Finn. Not to mention, when questioned on the topic earlier this week, Jack Pendarvis said the flashback of Big Finn with the tattoo and Jake in season 1 in the Egg World is supposed to be like a best bits scene of Finn and Jake whilst Jake was alive, which means that Jake had the tattoo and was big whilst Finn had the tattoo and was big whilst Jake was alive, which completely undoes the scene in Obsidian where we found out Jake had died. Like, that scene loses 100% of its meaning, and the tattoo loses 100% of its meaning, but that's the reason that the show decided Jake had died, so it's just a big fat mess.
True.
But they messed up big time with that. It's like there's too many chefs in the oven, and the people who made the tattoo and had Finn wear it in Obsidian either, like, forgot what they were doing, or they didn't work on Fionna and Cake.
I just figured there was unanswered questions. Like, it's like, okay, I guess this isn't a remembrance tattoo. I mean, it eventually is, but, like, the reason he got it is just different.
No, there's no reason, like, that Finn would appear with that tattoo on Obsidian other than as a remembrance tattoo. If you've seen the Uncivilized Elk video, he really goes into, like, the meaning of that tattoo. Those are forget-me-nots. Those aren't just any old flowers on Finn's tattoo. And then the next time we hear about Finn and Jake has died. Wow, it's exactly what we expected had happened. So why is Jake suddenly not dead in this scene? Like, it's like they forgot about Obsidian. They forgot they made it.
Yeah, I mean, we were joking about it that last episode, but here's this one for you. Jake is potentially not even dead still.
Yeah,
we didn't see the rest of that memory. It could have been a different Jake-related trauma.
Do we even know that Jake is dead? What if Jake has quote-unquote died several times?
I figure, I mean, that was the biggest trauma. I feel like that's gotta be the one, right?
I also didn't like it because Finn screaming like that makes it seem like Jake died, like, I don't know, painfully, or while on an adventure or something, as opposed to what I had kind of just assumed previously, which was that he died of old age.
I mean, we know how Jake died. We know exactly how Jake died. He suffocated while surrounded by stars, and Banana Man was there.
Oh, that's true.
True.
Was Finn also there?
Finn wasn't there. That's the thing. So Finn was watching from a distance, or was watching as Jake took off on the spaceship or whatever. which means we don't know that Jake is dead because Finn wasn't there.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say this, like, the fact that it, like, confirms... now I have questions because of y'all, but I was gonna say, well, I guess this confirms that he died in front of Finn horrifically instead of just dying of old age, which is awful.
Which is, like, that's what I mean when I say it was so evil of them to just put that little thing in there. Like, yes, it messes with continuity like crazy, but at the same time, them just doing that just because they know people like us will be like, huh?
Okay, but like I'm choosing to believe that Jake was dead by Obsidian, and that all the other scenes we've seen of Jake were a dream.
I mean, it could have been a traumatic dream too. That's not wrong.
True.
Yeah, it could be. It could be that Finn has had dreams of Jake dying, and that's like part of his trauma as well. So that's what I'm choosing to believe it was. And if you think about it, the Adventure Time crew will probably hear this criticism, whether from us or from someone else who is full of rage, and they will make a fucking crossover style episode, like rectifying exactly what happened.
Oh, that would be funny. What if, like, Side Quest goes out of its way to do that?
What do you think is going to be in side quests? Like the
I mean,
kids
that's the
cartoon?
next thing that's coming up, so...
The kids cartoon, which takes place before the show. Maybe it's all Finn's fever dreams as he's dying again.
It just feels like they're always so intentional with a lot of the stuff they do. It feels really out of character for them to, like, just mess up like that.
Well, yeah, like one of the most important things in the damn show. Like, how do you mess that up? You should have a specific knowledge of like, when it takes place, at least.
That's why I'm sort of waiting for, like, next week's episode in case, like, some more information comes up. I don't know.
Well, look, if we're going to speak of next week's episode and speak of character death, this is something that I just thought of before we started recording. What happened to Big Destiny? Was that ever going to be relevant?
No.
No.
The whole purpose of that scene with Big Destiny was to show how croak dreams work. That's the only reason it happened.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Yeah. Okay. Early in this season, on the podcast, I was being a little bit cryptic about this because I know that Chan hadn't seen the trailer. But in the trailer, like, we saw Farm World Finn hanging out in it, and that's what I was saying. Like, oh, I don't know how we're gonna get here, and then it ended up being like dream stuff, and it was really cool, and I liked it. But we never actually spent any time in Farm World. So I was thinking that we might do that, and that Farm World Finn's story could be relevant to Big Destiny somehow. But nah, that's not how it is, and that's fine.
I think I figured out, like, that it was a dream of some kind at the beginning. And I felt so clever for that being the case. I'm so smart.
True,
but
no, same. I didn't think that for Farm World, but I did think that for
Fiona and Finn.
for the scene that was in the trailer of Fiona and Finn, like, running down a flaming hallway and introducing themselves to each other. That was in the trailer. And immediately, as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's not real. That's going to be fake somehow. Like, maybe it's a dream. And then it turned out to be a dream. And that was part of the reason why I felt so good about it. And I was like, this is the perfect way to do this. Was because I was a little bit self-congratulatory with it.
So, talking of Finn, we have Obsidian Finn, who is quite sleek. And then we have the fact that this series has completely forgotten about Obsidian Finn and he doesn't seem to exist anymore. And then we have Buff Finn. And then we have Fern.
Oh, yeah?
And Fern is not buff. Fern doesn't look anything like Finn anymore. Fern may or may not have boobs now.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Well, this is something I can have a long conversation about. I wrote down in my notes of stuff about the genders of several characters in this series that I have things to say about. And Fern is absolutely one of them.
Yep, Fern, and has like blue, white, and pink flowers in their hair as well. Interesting.
Yeah, Fern. You notice I was they theming Fern earlier, and I'm going to stop doing that now because yes, in not all but some shots, Fern looks like she's got breasts. She's got the trans color flowers in her hair in the order that they are on the flag. Well, like the top half of the flag, but you would have to mirror it otherwise. She's got long hair, no facial hair, which is probably a choice, given that,
Finn is the king of facial hair.
and because Fern has body hair on other parts of her body, namely her feet, Fern is a woman. The episode isn't strictly saying this, but I'm saying this. Fern is a woman.
To be fair, I don't have hair on my feet. Then again, I'm not a woman, so you know. But yeah, I want Fern to tell me their pronouns. Because I was misgendering Hunter for the entire season.
No, I'm putting it out there that I would not at all be surprised if the next episode comes out and they he, him, Fern. But like, to me, she's a woman.
Yeah, I think Fern's definitely a lay. Like, considering what Fern is as well, Fern's definitely a lay pronouns user. But yeah, Fern doesn't look anything like Finn anymore, and is like much more of a well, could have been an alternate path for Finn.
Mm-hmm.
And we have, God, what else happens in this episode? Giant worm.
Giant worm.
They start in their brains, and the heart of the forest is in Huntress the whole time? Question mark.
Pretty much.
Yeah, the heart of the forest. There's a door to the heart, but it's shut off because of all the fire in Huntress's wizard's mind. Like, so much fire and fear just clouding her mind, and then the trauma as well of losing her parents as well. So, and even when the beast reveals itself, she thinks she has to kill it. But she stays her blade, and then it opens the door for her. And it's like, even if it means not being able to get back home, not being able to save Finn, she changes her path, she changes what she would have done, and bows in respect of the heart of the forest. I think there's a lot of that in Adventure Time. Just sort of like, what would you have done differently?
Yeah.
If you could go back. Like, Betty and Simon get a bucket load of it in their episodes in season 10 and Fionna and Cake 1.
I can't believe you just said that.
What?
Season 10. No, we can move past it. It doesn't matter.
Well, I just say season 8 and I might just say season 10. It's like there isn't a season 9.
Yeah, I mean, that's valid. More people will know what you're talking about if you say season 10 over season 9, but it's always going to be season 9 to me. Back to this one, though. Let me tell you, I kind of felt like a philosopher when I was writing my notes about this episode. There's a lot to ponder about it. And one thing I was pondering was, now that we know the purpose of the undergrowth, which is that it's a dimension for processing pain, like, why does that connect to the heart of the forest? Why is the heart of the forest like the thing you need to get into it, and the thing that maybe feeds magic from it out into the other universes?
That's a good question, and there's something else that happens in this episode that might connect to that. Huntress Wizard and the other green wizard.
Which wizard?
They have a fight. Yeah, Witch Wizard Witch Wizard, what an amazing name, Witch Wizard. They have a fight.
Yeah.
And Witch Wizard is draining all of the green energy from the dimension, but it's starting to kill her. And then she just gets covered in red boils as well. They don't look all that different to the red boils all over the world. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, maybe green magic, madness and sadness, maybe green wizard magic is born from, like, the repressed pain of others.
And that world is, like, poisoned for some reason that we don't know, right?
Yeah, well, this took me a couple watches to understand, because Huntress Wizard says that Witch Wizard taking the green magic straight from the undergrowth is poisoning her. And so earlier when we saw, Russell, which was that little thing that was also, like, poisoned in the same way, I was like, oh, that was a self-inflicted thing then. There's a whole society of these little guys who are, like, taking magic out of the undergrowth and it's hurting them. But I don't think that's true. I think that, like, it's all Witch Wizard. It's like, because Russell was, like, pointing Huntress Wizard in the direction where she discovered Witch Wizard. I don't know why that would be the case. Why, like, Witch Wizard using that magic poisons herself and also everything around her.
Overdosing.
Maybe it's because of her intentions or something.
Yeah. Well, it's magic, isn't it? If an abuser uses the magic, then the magic starts to get corrupted. It's common sense, even.
Of course.
Okay. Well, let me finish my thought. So one thing is about the undergrowth is that it's called the undergrowth, and there are things growing everywhere, and they're including lots of trees that in one layer look like veins, which I think is cool imagery. It's like, it not only deals with feelings metaphorically, but also feelings literally. But anyway, there's trees, so maybe you could say that like this is also the origin of plants, in addition to origin of magic or something. I think it's got more to do with the pain, though. I think maybe, like, that's actually specifically could be the reason why the spirit of the forest wanted those bandits to, like, capture and torture the beast that was the heart of the forest, is because it needs to be that. It needs to be in pain to produce magic. The old saying, magic, madness, and sadness, they all come together.
Yep.
I think that's probably it. Why? And that's probably, why Huntress Wizard thinks she needs to kill this world's heart in order for it to open a portal, too. That's what happened to her before, causing this thing, the most painful moment of its life, i.e. being its death, could be the thing that opens the way through. And the thing is, that kind of still happens, because in the metaphor, she, like, nurtures it instead. It like, drinks her sap tears and then opens the way. Which I think is a parallel to, like, Hunter, being a plants guy who, nurtures the plants around them and, like, helps them grow. But on the other hand, like, where the portal opened out of was a bunch of dead roses, like that. There were lots of little deaths in that way that led to the portal from Fiona World opening.
It would fit magic, madness, and sadness. But I do think Hunter tending to the flowers is like... they took care of the heart of the forest. And, like, Huntress Wizard opened the path forward not by stabbing the heart, but, like, just bowing to it. And not even requesting its help, just being thankful for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it understood as well. It understood what she needed to do.
But also, yes, you can also accurately say that the portal was inside Huntress Wizard, because not only did they open it from inside her mindscape, the way this episode ends, with presumably the like portal way back to Oo being destroyed for some reason, and then Huntress Wizard yells "No," which I liked because it was a parallel between her and Fiona, who also ended the last episode by screaming "No." But so she's going to need to find some other way back home. But then, of course, we cut straight from that to the credits, where the sprout that Fiona's been watering all season has finally grown into a rose with a portal in it. And I've been saying all along that represents Huntress Wizard, because obviously she was called the Sprout in the title of the first episode. So, yeah, I think she's probably going to find that portal within herself, actually.
Again. Twice. Well, she has to, doesn't she? Because the quote-unquote real portal just doesn't work.
So Cake shows up too. Hi, Cake.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is called Fionna and Cake.
Yeah.
So Cake is sort of taking a different path to what we would have expected.
I know, yeah. Okay, so you remember, I said I had some things to say about characters' genders. Cake, you might not expect, is one of them, because this whole season, her arc has been about suffering from objectification, which you can most easily interpret as like a sexism thing or maybe a racism thing. Like, people are interested in her body in ways that she doesn't want them to be. But in that case, this is a weird resolution to her story because people who suffer from those things in real life can't just like go somewhere else where it's not a problem. But I've been thinking about how when Fiona and Fennel got high and they could like see people's souls, they still look like they're, magical selves from the original version of Fiona World. And other things that corroborate this, like back in season 1, people still dream about the way that they used to be magic. And we saw from looking into the past in this season, the world being overwritten by Golb is sort of like a constant process. It wasn't just something that happened once. My point here being that everyone in Fiona World has like an inner self that they sort of can't fully reach. Except for Cake, because Cake's body looks exactly like how her inner self would, because it's what she exactly used to look like. And when I first noticed this, I was joking to myself, and I was like, Cake is the only cis person in the entire world.
Oh my god.
But no, I don't think that's the thing. I think that she is kind of trans in a way. She like transitioned from the body she wasn't happy in, that being a house cat, to the body and life that she is happy with.
So she's the only trans person in the entire world.
No.
No.
I mean, obviously Hunter is here, and I have more to say about Hunter too. But
True, and you know what we don't do? We don't see Hunter's spirit self in the episode.
True. But so I'm not saying Cake is trans specifically. I'm saying Cake is queer, though. And so we take a queer reading of Cake. Her staying in the undergrowth means she's like looking for community. She's like found the queer community that will accept her here. Which, by the way, fucking sucks that all the other supernatural freaks decided to be assholes and work for rich people and kick her out of those spaces. But here she found one where she is welcome. And so that's how I've decided to interpret this with her romance with the karmic worm and deciding to live with him for a while. By the way, that was fine. I liked that fine. I think they had a vibe, and then they went somewhere with it in this episode. But like, sad for M-Cron.
Yeah, that's all I was thinking about.
M-Cron didn't do anything wrong. And also, if what he's into is people like Cake, he is not going to find anyone else in that entire world who can satisfy him.
True.
Well, that's what Adventure Time's about sometimes. You try and it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And you gotta take a different path. It just makes perfect sense that Cake takes a different path to Drake.
Yeah.
Cake just has a completely different life. M-Cron has a completely different life. Maybe if they were both humans, it would be different. You know the episode Root Beer Guy?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Root Beer Guy and his wife, and they just sort of have an unhappy marriage. And then Root Beer Guy dies, and then you have Dirt Beer Guy. And I'm going back to saying that Fiona and Cake is Dirt Beer Guy because Dirt Beer Guy just spends the entire episode trying to win back Cherry Cream Soda, and then you find out that it was Bubblegum who sort of paired them together, and that they've never really thought about a different path. And in a way, Cake and M-Cron are sort of like following that way because they are derivatives of Jake and Lady Rainicon. So when Prismo and Simon created them, they were sort of destined to be a thing. But Cake has just got a completely different experience now. And she's a completely different person to both her former self and to Jake. And M-Cron is different as well. So it makes sense that it's just not working out for them. M-Cron isn't a horse, he's a human.
Yeah.
And Cake, for as long as they're together, Cake is only going to try to force herself to be something that she's not. She's going to try to force herself to be like a human, so that M-Cron will be interested in her. And even when everything seems to be going perfectly, and M-Cron thinks she's great, it isn't working. There's something wrong. So she meets someone else, and she realizes that she could just take a different path to what has been ordained.
Yeah, also, because M-Cron is a human, you can't easily make this statement just about Cake, so I'm going to say, like, broadly, all versions of Jake and Cake that we've seen, they've got a type. They like them long.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the karmic worm is rainicorn shaped.
Yeah. But so we're just gonna have to get an M-Cron dedicated spin-off series, right?
Why do you say that?
Because that's the only way that we can see who he ends up with instead of Cake.
No,
True,
don't
okay.
say that. Do we really want to go down that rabbit hole?
Well, it's gonna be Mrs. Cupcake, I guess.
True.
If she even exists.
Shrug.
Mrs. Cupcake is just a cupcake in this universe. That's the sad truth.
Okay, now I said I wanted to talk about Hunter also, so I'm gonna circle back to them. This wasn't really a thing in this episode. This was just something I was thinking about while I was at this point in the season, I guess. I said before that, like, in a way, Huntress Wizard and Hunter are, like, on the same level of being canonically trans, which is just that, we saw, like, a little hints towards it, and it was kind of stronger for Hunter than it was for Huntress, but whatever. That's not true anymore. That stopped being true as soon as we learned their pronouns, because a character being called they, them, combined with us seeing top surgery scars, and if you want, you could use the outside context of their voice actor, Vico Ortiz, having the same non-binary gender identity that the character has. But you don't need to go with that. You could just, read with what's on the screen. That tells a story. Like, Hunter, definitely is a trans-masculine, non-binary person, which is great. I'm glad for that. That's, like, kind of more specific than just saying they're a trans man, and that, like, represents real people in the audience who probably don't get to see themselves in TV a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
Can you name any other cartoon character who is trans in that way? Maybe the person that Sadie was dating in one episode of Steven Universe Future, but that was barely on screen for very long anyway.
Hunter has gender goals.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Conversely, though, it actually really does suck, and I'm sad that Hunter's Wizard doesn't get anything like that. Because Hunter is non-binary and not a man, I actually do think what they were going for with Huntress Wizard is that she was never a boy, but she was, an ungendered wild creature who chose to be a woman later in life. And that, like, is worse than Hunter in this season as far as representation, because that there is no real person in real life who has had that experience
that we know of.
But if they had made it explicit, I would have been happy with it. But, like, they really haven't. They really, like, are dancing around it. However, we do have Fern, and I think having the trans flag in her hair is, like, the same level of on-screen confirmation as Hunter's top surgery scars are. So I'm taking that one. I'm taking that as a win.
I don't think it's the same level of confirmation. The scars are a very specific thing. Then again, you could argue that the scars aren't confirmation either. But the fact that Vico Ortiz voices Hunter and their pronouns are specifically they, them, and that's explained in the show. Whereas with Fern's pronouns are not explained at all. Fern's voice actor is the same as before, which makes sense. Fern's voice is the same as before.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, it's flowers. You can barely even see the colours of the flowers in their hair.
Well, what really kills the flowers thing is that there's also a black one, and that doesn't really align with any pride flag I'm aware of.
Yeah, it's just not. It's not the same. Like,
yeah, I mean, plus the fact that Fiona, like, instantly clocked her as a clone of Finn, and, like, that if she is a woman, that must suck to hear.
Yeah,
but it's not exactly that, but I'm taking it that way. Which is the same thing as if we had only seen Hunter's top surgery scars and had no further elaboration.
But with Hunter, it took a long time to get that elaboration as well. And with Huntress Wizard, well, there's just nothing there. Huntress Wizard is trans in the same way that Princess Bubblegum is trans. They were like decided to be women at some stage. But Gary is not trans, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, no. I mean, we know, like, Fiona World characters do not always necessarily have the exact opposite gender presentation from their counterparts. Like with Starchy, who we saw again in this episode, has a feminine voice and a mustache. Like, that could mean anything, but it's not simple.
Yeah, that's true. They do like to play around with gender a little bit in the series, and I appreciate that in itself.
The thing that sucks about this series, like season 2, is like the first thing I thought of when I saw Fern was, oh, please have the same voice actor. I was like, please don't recast Fern.
That is so funny. Oh my god.
You were really anxious about it with Fern and with Orbo last episode.
I don't know what I'm just
Simone.
It is disappointing. Like it really does just feel like a different character when they get new voices. So I was like, I don't want it to take away from the like, oh, it's Fern. Fern is back, except it's a different actor.
I mean, I know recasting Cosmic Owl was a necessity because his old voice died, but I actually really like this voice for him. I think it might be more fitting than his old one.
No, he does a good job.
Oh, Cosmic Owl comes back to life. I completely forgot.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Nobody could stay dead in the show.
True.
Yeah,
but
Cosmic Owl comes back and confirms that he ran into the spear on purpose, right?
Well, he did say that. I don't know if he was telling the truth when he said that, but I'm taking it as a win because he did say that.
Well, it was just weird. I remember we were like, why did that... I don't know, we were questioning whether it was on purpose or not because it looked weird.
I mean, the thing is, if he was telling the truth when he said that, then that's so fucked up. He just decided, all right, time to commit suicide, I guess, because I hate my life.
I mean, yeah, I thought that was the implication.
I think it's possible he believed in Huntress Wizard's cause. I mean, like, Cosmic Owl kind of knows Finn.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, has a history of him. So maybe
Kinda.
he, like, saw Huntress Wizard doing all that stuff and he was like, you know what, I don't really want to kill you. So he ran into the spear and then he died and then he came back. And then he decided to quit his job. And they said that the Cosmic Owl was depressed as well.
But also, like, none of his trauma is being processed because his brother refuses to.
I know.
So
And he like, what has been the Cosmic Owl since, what, before the start of time or something? And so he's lived for the entire length of the universe, like, never processing anything. It's fucked up.
It kind of explains why he is how he is, to be honest. Like, the Cosmic Owl lives a very messy life, doesn't really put much work into anything.
And I am happy with his ending, too, because he comes back to life, like Prismo did before, which was kind of referenced by Karmic Worm saying, like, yeah, gods are hard to kill. They can kind of just come back. But there's still, repercussions because he quits his job, which I'm happy for, because I was thinking with this whole court system, and honestly, with stuff like Prismo's boss and hierarchies like that existing, and there being prison sentences and shit, and their court system being unfair, like, they didn't give Fiona a lawyer when she showed up for trial. The gods in Adventure Time, like, don't have it good. They could use a lot of improvement, I think. I also think it will be hard to tell them that, because they're gods and they've lived this way forever.
Have you played Hades 2?
No, I haven't.
Well, it's a lot like that in that game, but, like, obviously there's no consequences for it, because that would require challenging the status quo, which the game isn't prepared to do, because it would, like, undo the whole tone. It's the same for Adventure Time. Like who's going to challenge the gods and undo their god system? And if they did that, what kind of tone would the series have?
I was seeing, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I was seeing some parallels between the gods system in that way and, like, Fiona's world. Maybe this explains why all the gods that escaped Scarab's eggs like just settled very easily into capitalism, and like, you know, they're not happy. They're not making a lot of money apparently, but they're living under it, and they're not, you know, using their god powers to do anything about that. Which is something I assumed they could do, but not something I assumed the writers would write into this show, because that would just be like probably too pointed of political commentary for Adventure Time. But I think they should. I think they should go communist.
Well, this is why we need just a god-dedicated spin-off, all right? I'm gonna keep pitching spin-offs because we need to have another season of something.
Yeah, there's only one episode left, and there's so much I want them to cover, and I'm like, oh man, they're not gonna. Like, I don't mean to change the subject, but I keep thinking about this. When we saw Finn's tree, I was like, one of these orbs is his parents dying. Show it to me, cowards. And then they didn't. I was like, fuck.
His parents dying?
Yeah.
Like Joshua and Margaret?
Yeah, Joshua and Margaret. You know, I've always wanted to see, I don't know, maybe that's fucked up, but like, I don't know.
It would have been less confusing to us if they showed that instead of Jake. So
yeah, I always figured that moment was like what made Jake kind of be like, I gotta stop being a freak and a criminal and kind of look after my brother. I don't know.
Maybe this is how side quests will start.
What?
What?
Oh,
it'll start very soon after their parents died, and we'll see like Jake develop into like like a surrogate father kind of thing, and it'll be very, very touching.
I don't think it's that much of a prequel.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
We actually have no idea how far in the past it is. It could be during that scene in BMO where Jake had the punk hair.
Yeah.
Maybe. I guess they could get away with recasting Finn that way.
Talking of Finn's parents and dying.
Oh, yeah.
I have no choice. Cock's gun.
Cock's cell phone.
I'm gonna have to call his mom.
But that was so funny. We were going on about how, they're really showing how they're exhausting all their options. Yeah, man, his mom's a doctor. Like, yeah, why didn't they do that before? It's gonna be so funny if, like, regular human medicine is what gets him out of this.
That would be pretty funny. I think Bubblegum has good reason, though, to have not called Minerva so far. Because, do you remember what Minerva was like when Finn could have gotten into the slightest hint of danger before?
Yeah, she was like, get into the computer, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if Finn's dying, Bubblegum thinks there's like two possibilities here. One being that Finn is about to die, so his mother needs to be able to say her goodbyes. Or two, that they've run out of options and they've got to get the Pancake Annihilator involved.
I was just gonna say that with how science fiction the human stuff is, like, it's not even regular medicine at this point. That maybe they really do have something somehow. You know what? But I took it as she was gonna call him to tell her that he was dying, though, not that she because she's a doctor and stuff. But we'll see.
Well, Minerva certainly has some freaky tech, but Bubblegum does as well.
Yeah.
And like she already tried everything that science could offer, and then went on to try a bunch of stuff that magic could offer as well. So I feel like regular human medicine might not be enough. I think this is something bigger.
Yeah, well, probably. We'll have to wait and see. You did say something that made me think just now, like, yeah, when Minerva, her actual, like, mind in a computer, the actual person, met Finn, she was like, let's digitize you right away. But all the Minerva bots, who are walking around and helping people, like, aren't really like that. They're kind of very simple. They're like problem solution. So that's kind of what I was expecting to actually happen, is that she's going to show up and like inject Finn with something. But you were
put his ass in the computer.
If we actually get to see Minerva the character again, I would love that. And I wouldn't expect it. I didn't expect it, but now I'm hopeful for it, because that would be great. I love her.
Oh, we're totally going to see Minerva again. It's cute that Bubblegum has her phone number.
Yeah.
Did we?
I just love that this is the last resort, calling his mother, like, after everything that's happened. That's what they do. They just call his mother like he tripped over at school.
Maybe she doesn't like him. Or her, sorry. I don't know why.
I would imagine that Bubblegum is quite wary of Minerva. If you've seen...
Yeah.
I know they're not canon, but if you've read, like, the comics, the Season 11 comic, not sure if any of you remember that.
Yeah, I remember the one good scene from the Season 11 comics. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. The one good scene from the Season 11 comics. There was a bit of tension there. And, like, Bubblegum kind of sees herself as a mother figure to Finn, and then Finn has an actual mother, so it's like that might be yet another person to fight over Finn's welfare with. Like, Bubblegum, Jake, and now Minerva just arguing with each other over the best way to take care of Finn. Can you imagine?
That'd be good.
Have we mentioned yet that this was the Rebecca Sugar episode?
We haven't.
didn't.
No, we haven't.
But it was, and you can tell.
Is there only one confirmed, or do we know that she might have done the finale too? Maybe.
I don't know. But Rebecca Sugar did the Cake song, which makes sense because Rebecca Sugar did Cake song in the previous season as well.
Yeah.
But it is really funny that they took on such a heavy hitter like Rebecca Sugar, and rather than the Marshall Lee song, they had them do Cake song.
I loved the song though; it was really good.
Oh, it is definitely great.
Yeah, I've had that song stuck in my head in the few days since I saw the episode, but it also keeps like turning into other songs. Like I don't remember the whole thing on its own.
I think it's pretty surprising that they have Rebecca for like what is like a lore heavy episode establishing an entire new element of the universe.
I know. There's a lot I didn't say in the last podcast because we had to talk about 2 episodes. One of the things I was thinking was like, we're getting pretty late in the season and we haven't got the Rebecca Sugar episode yet. I can't, like they dropped it on the second to last. It's like a big deal.
I want to read the storyboards for this show.
Yeah, I just tried to Google the song because like I loved it, but I also don't remember any of the lyrics. I remember that the lyrics made me feel fuzzy inside, so that's how I know it worked. But yeah,
You know, I was making a post on Tumblr the other day about like intro themes for like every cartoon I could think of, and I looked at the Flapjack intro, and then I was hit in the face by a sledgehammer with the fact that Roz Ryan voices the whale from Flapjack.
Yeah.
Because her voice is exactly the same as her Cake voice. So, like, watching all this Fionna and Cake, and oh shit, Cake is in Flapjack.
I just love the implication that Flapjack, like, canonically is like an offshoot of Adventure Time. Like, that's like,
or the other way around.
Yeah, true. Flapjack and Bubby are Finn and Jake. It's just great.
Did anyone think it was a little bit strange that the important brothers in this episode in this series is an owl and a worm, which would normally have a like predator-prey relationship?
I didn't think about that until right now, but yeah, that's kind of interesting.
I don't know if that means anything, and maybe I'm reading too far into it by even saying this, but I also noticed that like they kind of have reversed roles in that the owl is the one that burrows his way into places he shouldn't be, and the worm is the one who goes hunting every day for food.
True.
And that's like their jobs.
That is interesting. I don't know what it implies, but I'm sure nodding my head and saying interesting.
I hope that Cosmic Owl, even though he's on the lam now, can still like hang out with Prismo. Prismo needs something.
I know, we even saw a little Prismo in an orb. Sad Prismo.
And with Karmic Worm too, they should talk more.
Oh, can I ask about the Gary orb? Like,
yeah, okay.
Is Gary just like Gary made food for them, but then he was like, I'm not going to eat any, and then he got his own food and he was sad, and I was like, I don't exactly understand what's happening here. So I wanted to talk about it.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know exactly what the going out to get food from a food truck is like for, but the message I got from it is that like he, even though he was like a kid, he had to do a lot of the work of like raising his family, which is a Bonnie parallel, absolutely.
Yeah, this is a bubblegum moment, if you allow me to explain. So Gary put in all the work for his family and got all that food for them. And then when all was said and done, he couldn't wait to get out of there because he was so tired. And then he just went out and got himself like the trashiest food possible. And
yeah, they made a point to say that the hot dog was shitty too.
So Gary is like coping by eating, like, they put all that work into food for other people, but they couldn't bear to, they just were so done with it that they decided to get something for themselves that they wouldn't have to cook. Like, even if it was just like the trashiest food ever that they would not recommend to anyone. It's like the food equivalent of going out and getting a drink.
That makes sense. And then we see Ellis, and we get to hear that space lady's actual dialogue.
Yeah! Go beyond the end of the peach. What do you think that means? I have no clue.
I don't know either. I was hoping y'all would.
I hope we'll learn in a season 3. I wonder also, assuming that this dream message does mean something, maybe I was right in speculating that those ladies are the dream warrior of Fiona World. That message, she specifically told Ellis it wasn't for him. It was for, like, I don't think she said who it was for. It kind of sounded like it was for everyone. But maybe Fiona getting the message in this way is like what was actually supposed to happen.
Maybe.
She definitely didn't pay attention, though. All she had to say was poor Ellis, I think.
Yeah, fair.
Well, either it could be Fiona or it could be Huntress Wizard, since Huntress Wizard appears to be stuck in that dimension.
I guess you could go beyond the end of something in that way.
And then Marshall's is more, sorry, Mom. That was all we got with that. Just,
Poor Marshall. Poor Ellis. I love how Ellis was treated to like the same degree of like respect as Marshall.
Then Fiona's like a child and is like an orphan ?
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Fiona was raised by cats.
That's true.
She
raised
was
by cats, just like Finn was raised by dogs. I mean,
yeah, but how do you be raised by cats when you live in a civilized society where cats can't talk? You just go to the cat shelter every single day and have no friends and have no one looking after you.
Yeah, it's kind of, seeing that it's kind of no wonder that she grew up into the person who has like kind of stunted emotional maturity and also would happily eat a dead rat when she sees one.
Yeah.
It's, oh my god, you're fucking right. And it's one of her traumas as well. Just like the sort of isolation involved in all of that.
Also, I'm sorry, I'm jumping around. I'm just thinking of things that I'm thinking of. I wonder if Huntress is gonna get a sick-ass eye patch now. Because, like, her eye is still fucked up, right? At the end of the episode.
She can still see from it. It's like a black eye.
Okay. Here's am I stupid? Here's something I didn't get. In the episode, like, Witch Wizard cut up Huntress Wizard's body, and she like reached out and like grew her limbs back together. And Witch Wizard was like, "How'd you do that?" And I thought, yeah, wait, like, when did she? That seems familiar, but like, when did she learn how to do that?
Huntress Wizard? I mean, she's just always known how to do that, I thought.
No, but she couldn't at the start of the season, or she would have, to get the sap to save Finn with. But like she got all chopped up into different worlds because she couldn't.
Maybe with all that growing her limbs back and entire body back, she figured out how to do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I actually didn't think about that too much. I was just like, yeah, she knows how to do that.
Maybe she just got stronger.
I mean, it's a symbol of her like emotional growth. I think maybe she's taking steps to be more like how Hunter ended up. That's how I take it. I just like don't specifically remember the way that it's called out by Witch Wizard makes me think that it's like important. Like that happened at an important moment for her, but I don't remember what moment it was.
I'm still confused about like the poison because I know y'all said it was like probably Witch Wizard poisoning, but like when she like went into the mind of, what are they, Russell. Is that their name?
Yeah.
I'd swear it was like she went in their mind, and then like it showed like everything was made of that poison, like all the stuff, and then like in the current world it was like kind of like half and half, and it looked like it was like kind of improving, or it was just like, I don't know, underneath.
I was a little bit confused with the wording of this, but I went over it enough times to understand. Huntress Wizard was like, "You're poisoned," and then she mind melded with Russell and was like, "Your whole world is poisoned too." And then she was like, "Who did this? How did this happen?" And Russell pointed her in the direction of Witch Wizard, and that's why I think Witch Wizard is the source of it.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I mean, it's not entirely clear. I don't fully understand why Huntress has the power to cure the poison either.
She's just epic like that.
True. Although I do think I cleared up my question about Huntress Wizard using magic from last podcast, not relevant to this episode specifically, but I think the simple answer, which is that, yeah, she lost her magic in Ooh because the Heart of the Forest was dead, but in Fiona World there is a Heart of the Forest, and so she can use magic.
That makes sense.
Here's a thought I had also. This is a bit of a stretch, but did anyone else when they first saw the like sparkling pink pile of Karmic Worm's castings, as he called it, did anyone else think, oh, that's like a pink shape, like from one of Finn's past lives?
Yeah.
No,
I forgot about that. I did think that.
I can't forget about the bubblegum looking thing, but it doesn't look exactly the same.
Yeah, it doesn't look the same, and it's like not alive, I think. So like,
yeah, it's probably
they just
not.
both look like poop.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm reaching the end of stuff I wrote down. You know how we ended the last episode talking about like it's going to be cool to see them like explore Fiona's mind, and Huntress Wizard's mind is probably going to be mixed in there too. We didn't actually get a lot of that. And so there wasn't a lot of Yuri I could mine from it, but there is a little bit, because I'll say Fiona's mind hut and Huntress Wizard's mind hut are just about as close to making out as Fiona and Fennel were when they got high together.
There's also a little bit of toxic Yuri as well. Huntress Wizard versus a witch wizard.
A little bit, yeah. You know, and then they're doing aftercare too. She's like I gotta take you home and make you someone on your own without sapping this place.
Like, think about it. Which wizard didn't go in there to steal all the magic? Which wizard went in there to follow after Huntress Wizard after she got sent in?
Yeah.
Like, which wizard actually went in there to save Huntress Wizard, but then got corrupted on the way down and ended up fighting Huntress Wizard instead and losing and not understanding why she lost? And then Huntress Wizard realised that Witch Wizard was sick and needed help. It's toxic Yuri.
True. Also, like, very briefly in this episode, we did see Fern and Huntress Wizard standing next to each other. And aside from the fact that I think they're both trans women, like, I did think, oh, hey, you two, do you want to talk? Do you think you'd be friends? I have it on good authority that you would get along.
Yeah.
Because the Fiona World versions of you guys are tight like that. Mm-hmm. But they didn't say anything to each other. Maybe they will next episode because Huntress Wizard is still trapped here. But I don't know.
You're right. Fingers crossed that they do. Like, Huntress Wizard and Fern should be best mates. But it might just be a Fiona World thing.
Which would be fine if that's the case. Because, you know, those are the real versions of those people, and they're different from the versions we know in all the ways that we know, and that's important about them. But still, they're right here. I think they should talk. They should have a conversation.
I feel bad for Fern, because they are, like, unhappy. I mean, they're like, you don't want to live here. Like, and they just tend to Finn's trauma garden. I hope they're okay.
Yeah, it is a little bit like, yeah, I'm not Finn. I'm something else. Okay, but you're still tending to Finn's thoughts every day. It's a bit sad, but I'm glad she's in a happier place than, you know, we last saw her. At least I could say that with confidence.
Yeah, now I just want to know how Huntress is going to cure Finn. Just like, I'm going to find another way. It's like, well, what is it? You going to use your magic poison healing powers that you used in the undergrowth and be like, oh man, I had it in me all along, and then looks at the camera and smiles? Or like, what's going to happen? She also said she lost the cure, and I'm like, didn't she have the cure while they were fighting? I never saw her lose it. Am I wrong?
No, she lost it like the second she fell into the portal at the beginning of
Yeah, but then Witch Wizard had it. We're like looking for this, right? In like the acorn bottle?
But
And
the
then
bottle was empty.
Oh, it was empty. Okay. I see. I thought it had liquid in it for some reason. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot to this episode. I'm trying to make sure I didn't skip over anything.
I think that's about all I have on The Worm and His Orchard. I liked it. It was a good episode.
I liked it a lot too.
Any predictions for the next episode? Like, do we have anything to predict?
Not really. I just want to see.
Yeah, I mean, I just expect it to be a wholesome conclusion, I guess. Like, I'm not really expecting anything crazy. We'll put Queenie in her place, and that's about it.
Yeah, I don't really see it being like too explosive. It's just kind of like quiet. It feels like.
Edda described Finn's return to me as like a miracle of Hanukkah because there were like multiple people in Mechanica who are obsessed with Finn. There's Cupcake and there's Ender at the bare minimum, right? So it's like the miracle of Hanukkah, and I'm like, if that's the miracle of Hanukkah, what's going to be the miracle of Christmas?
Oh.
And I was like, Jake comes back on Christmas Day.
He wasn't dead. We were right. He wasn't ever dead, actually. He could come back
He was
easily.
never dead.
Yeah, him
Yep.
screaming Jake was just Jake going to college. He didn't want
Yeah.
him to get on the plane.
Jake's like, all right, Finn, I'm gonna go away for a while, but I'm sure you can manage by yourself. And like you know how Fionna and Cake were in this episode. And then instead of going, okay, Finn's like, no, you can't go. Okay, Jake, come back.
Yeah, that was just Jake losing the big game, and Finn was in the audience.
Yeah.
All right, here's the real canon thing about the tattoo. Here's what happened. It was Finn's birthday, and Jake drew him a cute little picture with the forget-me-nots, and he said, Finn, I'm getting older, I'm getting older, and we can tell, and I wanted to draw this for you so you can always remember me even when I'm gone. And then Finn was so moved that he went and got a tattoo of it, and Jake's like, oh my god, that's so cute, you got a tattoo of my drawing, and then they hugged. The end. What do you think?
That
And
is
then
so
nothing
cute.
bad ever happened.
So it is a
Nothing
remembrance
bad ever
tattoo, but that's why he had it early, because it was based on a drawing that Jake gave him when he was telling him he was going to die eventually. Okay, there you go.
And then the reason Jake wasn't in Obsidian is because he went to college.
Yeah. See, I'm like, they can write their way out of this, is my point. Just wait. Like, oh, I think that's all I got.
I think that's a great place to end it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk to you guys next week.